What's up, everyone? I'm Connor Lynch. Today we have a special guest by the name of Zach Morris, and he's a former Yellow Jacket player. So tell us about yourself as a former Yellow Jacket player and your career as a player.
Well, it was a blessing to be able to play football in a city like Wynn, who predominantly has more support for their football program than any other town in the state of Arkansas, in my opinion. I would like to say I wore the colors with pride. I know we had a lot of high expectations held for us, and we were fortunate enough to have a group of guys that met those expectations.
So how long have you been playing football, and what positions have you all played in your career?
Well, I played football for 9 years. I started playing, I think, in second grade, playing flag football.
Yeah.
Then, of course, I went on into the Stinger program and into the school district. I grew up playing running back, corner, safety, positions like that. And then when I got in high school, I played wide receiver, cornerback, and I played a year quarterback as well.
So out of all those positions, which one would you say was the most difficult, and what are the roles that kind of player would have to have?
Well, I think the most difficult yet most fun position was quarterback. I think it's difficult because you have to learn everybody's job on every single play. You're not just learning the quarterback position, you're learning what your running backs do and your receivers, your linemen. So it was challenging to make the transition from receiver to quarterback, but Coach Hill made it pretty easy, and he kind of turned us loose. We had a good team, so it was a lot of fun.
So how was it like playing under Coach Hill?
It was a blessing. He, in my opinion, he's one of the best in the business. He's the type of coach that when he talks, you listen. He has his standard. He sets expectations for his coaches, his players, and you're expected to meet those expectations. And I think we were 36-6 under Coach Hill.
Yeah.
I think he went on to win 60-something games at Wynn. So he's one of the best to ever do it, in my opinion.
How has he helped you as a player on and off the field?
Well, something that Coach Hill said when I played for him was that coachable players become employable adults, and it stands true today. I would tell any player playing for any coach right now just to be coachable and to do what the coach says. He's got your best interest in mind, and that's kind of how Coach Hill was. He wanted the best out of you because he cared about you and he cared about all of us.
So that kind of stuck with you to this day.
It does. Me and Coach Hill, we talk just about every other day. If I need something, I call him. If he needs something, he calls me.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat to start that relationship as a player to a coach, and then I look at him as a mentor and a friend now.
So from what you can remember, what is the most video game-like game you've ever played?
My junior year, I played quarterback, and we were hosting BB at home for homecoming. I think I threw 4 touchdowns and ran 3. So 7 touchdowns that game, and I think our offense ended up having like 700 yards. So it was a pretty fun night.
It's insane.
It was.
So tell us some of the struggles that you faced during your high school football career.
Playing for Coach Hill, there was a lot of demand. There wasn't necessarily an off season. It was hard work from January 1 to December 31.
Mm-hmm.
But it paid off, and it wasn't easy. On top of being a high school kid and having to work, having to maintain your grades and apply for scholarships, and think about what's going to be best for your future, while balancing the expectations as an athlete. So it was difficult, but it really did mold me into who I am today, and who the father I am, and the husband and the parks director I am. So it helped out tremendously.
So explain that, the parks director.
So January 27th of last year, I accepted the position of the actual first ever Parks and Recreation director in the city of Wynn. Growing up, I told myself I always wanted to be some type of sports coach. But the reason I wanted to is I wanted to be able to impact kids the way Coach Hill impacted us. And when this position came open, I saw the bigger picture, and I saw the impact that I could potentially make on the whole community. So what I do is I basically oversee the budget and operations of the maintenance and the maintenance of our city parks and keeping a clean, adequate space for recreation facilities, the sports complex, the splash pad. We run a 6-man crew. Like I said, it's a year-long operation, so we kind of started from scratch, and we're trying to grow it into a pretty big deal.
So if I'm not mistaken, you've coached Stinger football?
I have.
How many years?
So I did it for 1 year last year, and I would definitely do it again now if I had the time. I now see how hard it is to be a coach. I think the high school coaches have it a little bit easier than the Pee Wee and coaches do. But, it's fun to get a chance to teach kids what you learned from the coaches that you learned it from. So, like I said, it may be something I get back into in the future, but it was definitely a good time.
So let's throw it back to 2014, the state game with PA.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a quick rundown. What happened that game?
Well, I still have Band-Aids on those wounds. Anything with PA is a sensitive subject for me. But, it was a good ball game. They're obviously a great program.
Yeah.
I think we had a great game plan going in. I truthfully went in that game knowing that we were going to bring a state championship back to win.
Mm-hmm.
We had studied film, and like I said, we prepped on them all week. And I think to this day, I think if we played them 10 times, we'd beat them 9. I think we had a couple tough breaks, a penalty here, and a couple turnovers here, and it probably could have been a different game.
If I'm not mistaken, if I remember this correctly, you had a touchdown that got called back late into that game.
I did. It was actually right before halftime. We were up by 3 already, and I caught an interception on PA's 1-yard line and ran it all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my best buddies blocked in the back about 30 yards behind the play, and it got called back. And it sucked the life out of us. But like I said, there were several plays. When a game's that close, you can look back and, if we would have done this or if we'd have done that better, we would have won. So I don't think that one play defined it, but it didn't help at all.
I got you. So do you have any advice for any young athletes?
Yeah, absolutely. One, like I touched on earlier, be coachable. Whether you think what your coach is telling you to do is the right thing to do, it is. They have your personal best interest in mind. If you are a coachable player in high school, you will definitely be an employable adult. And have fun. Find what makes you happy and do a lot of it. That's a big thing for me. I don't necessarily have sports anymore, and that was what I grew up with. But now I found hobbies like golf and hunting, and I do a lot of it. It keeps me occupied. So that would be my advice to anybody.
Gotcha. Well, that's all the questions that I have for you today, Zach. I just want to thank you a lot for this interview. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, that's it. I appreciate it, and I wish y'all the best of luck.
Thank you. Well, Lynch, Jacket Action News. See y'all next time. Go Jackets.